G'day friends, my name's Rod and I'm an alcoholic. Gratefully sober tonight, and really happy to be at another meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. And my home group's Sunrise in Hampton. We meet on a Saturday and Sunday morning at 7 o'clock, and on Monday, Wednesday and Friday morning at 6:30. And my sobriety date's the 21st of November 1997. Tonight I'll just try and tell you what it was like when I was drinking, how I got into recovery and what my life's like today. And in our family home there was no booze to speak of. Dad would get a couple of bottles of beer at Christmas time just in case there was someone dropped in. But I did know you needed to be 18 to drink it legally, and when I picked up my first glass of cream de menthe and lemonade followed by a number of green cans, that allowed me to bring up my evening's dinner. And I got well and truly plastered, and today I identify as an alcoholic because just every time I drank to excess. One was too many and 100 was not enough. And I drank for 28 years, from 18 to 46, and if I wasn't drinking the damn stuff, I was always thinking about drinking damn stuff. I lived in Hampton, I worked in Port Melbourne, I'd come along Beaconsfield Parade, I'd work out what I was going to be drinking that night, and then I'd get on with the day. On the way home, as I was heading towards home, or drop off at the pub or the RSL or whatever, I'd almost feel inebriated before I had my first drink. There's excitement of getting it into me. I started off at 18, and I got married at 21 to a girl I met when I was 16. And in the early days it was pretty casual. I ran footy clubs and barbecues and all that. But by I guess around about mid-20s, it was an everyday affair. And kids came into our family 5 years later into our marriage, and I worked for a large organisation, and I did part-time study and played footy and cricket, coached kids at footy and cricket, did all the stuff that normal guys did. And I spent a lot of time in that 28 years, spending a lot of time and energy getting the outside looking okay, thinking if it was all okay on the outside, then it was okay, and it was certainly not. We had the picket fence and a couple of cars and the kids and all that sort of stuff, and there was a lot of madness going on in the home too. But I wasn't, certainly wasn't aware what was, at a conscious level what was going on. I knew I drank differently from the other guys I drank with, because I drank apple cider. I could drink it in 26-ounce bottles. It was, it was nice, and it was a, very healthy drink. There was apples, and there was also 10% proof, and so I knew I drank differently. At the footy club, I'd have a bowl of cider there. No one else drank it, and it was just terrific. But very early in my drinking, things happened to me which should have given me a warning that there was a sign that there was something wrong. I lost my ability to be able to sign my name in front of people. Didn't look in the mirror for the last 10 or 15 years of my drinking, not even the shave in the morning, and coffee cups became a disaster, and the shake, rattle and rolling, and did a lot of drinking in public toilets. Nothing social about that, but that sort of stuff just became the norm in my life, and I didn't think anything of it. And one of the saddest things about my disease is I was the last one to know. Everybody knew that I was in trouble, but no one called me on it. No one said, "Hey, listen, you're in trouble with this stuff. Why don't you get a rest?" And it really nicks me off today, because if they had tapped me on the shoulder when I was in my mid-20s and said, "Hey, listen, ease up," I would have really listened. It would have saved me a lot of heartache. Maybe I wouldn't have listened, but anyway, the good news is, I finally got here, and what happened to me towards the end, I'd worked for one organisation for 25 years. And I started there as a junior in the office and worked up, and in the end did weird and wonderful things around the region, managing change. What a joke that was. I know today the only person I can change is me, but I was changing business processes around the region, and like a madman possessed. But I left that organisation to go and start my own business. Within 2 years of doing it my way, I found my way here, because me in charge of me just doesn't work. A recipe for disaster. And I had a small business going. I had boys and girls working for me, and I was paying them cash in hand at a higher rate than I was charging my customers. But my life was totally manageable. you know, but I was a hell of a nice guy to work for, you know. If you had wanted your car washed, I would have washed it for you as well, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, and the business was going nowhere, and but, you know, there was one afternoon, it was a, you know, warm November afternoon, and I said to my wife, when it got to the evening, I said to her, why don't you go and sleep in another part of the house and let me have a good night's sleep? You know, I felt a bit restless, and she did that, and she went off and parked herself elsewhere, and I went to bed, woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm feeling a bit crook, and I headed off to the bathroom, and I coughed up an enormous amount of blood into the toilet bowl. And I cleaned that up as best I could, and then went back to bed, and as I passed the wardrobe, I slid that across and reached inside for one of those really nice vintage casks of wine that was perched on the second shelf, cleverly disguised, you know, the genius of the alcoholic, cleverly disguised by a t-shirt. And I don't know how you disguise those things, but, yeah, there it was, and I went back to bed, woke up a couple of hours later, feeling a bit crook, started to make my way to the bathroom, didn't quite make it, cut my mouth, spewed blood all over the bedroom, fell around a bit, made a bit of a ruckus, and the wife came up to see what was going on. She rang the Clayton Hospital, the Ambo's Julie arrived, and I was carted off by ambulance to the Clayton Hospital around about 7:30 on a Friday morning. And you know, I don't remember too much about, you know, what happened to checking in and all that sort of stuff, but I know I was taken straight into the intensive care ward, and that was a Friday morning. On the Saturday night, the medics rang home and said to the family they'd be well advised to get out of hospital fairly quickly, because in their opinion I wasn't going to get out of there alive. You know, but by the grace of God, and only by the grace of God, I'm very much alive and getting better a day at a time. And it's an absolute miracle. You know, I did nothing to get myself sober, but the power greater than myself has bludgeoned me into surrender into this dirty, rotten, ugly disease called alcoholism. And I've been given a second go at life. And today, although, you know, I may not know much, but one thing I do know is that I have been given a second go at life, and only the opportunity for it. And it's what I do with that opportunity which makes all the difference. And I was to be in that hospital for 20 days, and the day after I got out, a bloke knocked on my door, and he said to me, I hear you've been a bit unwell. And I said, yeah, just a little bit crook, but I'm okay now. He looked at me and he said, if you don't mind me saying so, you look absolutely terrible. I guess it was the bright daffodil eyes, I was still spinning in my head, and my complexion could have been any colour on that day, and I still had the shakes. But he invited himself in, and as we walked down the passage, he said to me, you know I don't drink alcohol. I'd known this bloke for about 30 odd years, we played a lot of cricket together. And I said, yeah, sure, I know you don't drink alcohol. And he said to me, yeah, I'm a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous and have been for 11 and a half years. And I'm thinking, why is he telling me all this? You know, still the penny hadn't dropped, you know, that denial. And but he told me a bit about his story. He did tell me what it was like when he was drinking, some of his war stories, how he got into recovery and what his life was like that day. And I don't remember too much about it, the detail of what he told me, but he did invite me along to one of his meetings. Of course, you know, being the chronic people pleaser, and someone had asked me to come somewhere, I went, and he picked me up at 7:30 on the Tuesday night. We went to the Hampton meeting, which is an ID meeting, and I sort of listened up as best I could, and I don't remember too much about the goings on, but after the meeting he said, you know, just keep coming back, and he also corralled me. You know, guys got me in a corner, and they asked me questions. No one asked me what my surname was, or where I worked, or what footy club I played for, or how many goals I kicked last week, or any of that sort of stuff. But you talked about how do you feel and all that strange stuff. You know, nobody in the pubs I mixed with talked about feelings, and so I thought that was a bit strange. But I went to another meeting on the next Tuesday night, and I'd met a counsellor in the meantime. He'd been sober himself for 26 years, had been counselling in recovery of alcoholism for 24 years, and I was seeing him every Wednesday night. And after about 3 months he said to me, how many AA meetings are you doing? And I said to him, I've done 2, and I see you every Wednesday night. This is after about 3 months, I hadn't had a drink. He said to me, are you sure you're doing enough? You know, I had no idea what he meant. The next day I thought about it, and I had a meetings book or some list of meetings. I went to a few meetings. I went to Sandringham and Moorabbin, and found my home group Sunrise on the Saturday morning. I went back and saw the counsellor on the Wednesday night, and I said to him, as he put the hand of friendship out, I said to him, I heard what you said last week, and this week I've done 7 AA meetings, expecting him to give me a great big bear hug and say, what a great chap you are, and congratulations. The bastard didn't recognise all the great work that I'd done. I got really nicked off right there and then, real serious resentment. But today I know that he was just giving me a very valuable message, and that message is quite simple. He doesn't set the rules for my recovery. I certainly don't set the rules for my recovery. And Alcoholics Anonymous in all its glory doesn't set the rules for my recovery. My disease sets the rules for my recovery, and my disease actually commands that I attend regular frequent meetings of Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't have one drink for one day at a time, and over time I put the program into my life, and today I do those simple things. The chap who carried the message to me ended up being my sponsor, and at the second meeting he brought me a little copy of the big book. He encouraged me to read it, but he only allowed me to read up to page 43. I said, well, what is that? And he said, just read up to page 43 and write stuff down. And I balked at all that, I wanted to get on with it, but we did. We just stayed on up to page 43, and the doctor's opinion plus the first 3 chapters is all about step 1. So it's 43 pages out of 160 odd pages. 25% of it is devoted to step 1. There must be a reason for that, he explained to me. But he got me to write stuff down, and I'd say to him, yeah, but, and he said, yeah, but nothing. And I say, I know. And he said, you know, Jack. And but I did write stuff down, and when I write stuff down, it just became for me right size, not bigger in my imagination or less than. And so I wrote down those big things about my powerlessness and also my unmanageability, and then they dropped down into the rest of the program. And today I've got a pretty damn good life. I'm still married to the girl which I got married to when I was 21, and that's 40 years we've been married, and that's very much a day at a time event. I've got a younger son who's 33, and he's out there doing his party tricks and stuff, and I had to learn to detach with love for him. I detached with bugger off as he went to Cairns, and I detached with distance and all that sort of stuff. I had to learn to detach with love and give him the grace to live his life the way that he's meant to live his life. And today we do have a relationship. He drops in at work every now and again, and he rings, and it's okay. I've got another son who's 35, and he's just kicking goals. He hardly drinks, and he never doesn't talk about it. I think he's in a bit of denial about my drinking too, because he saw a lot of stuff that he really shouldn't have seen. But I just get on with stuff, and one thing I can say today is that I am a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not a spectator watching the game. I actually strip and play and come to a live show and participate. And I haven't had a need or a desire to have a drink for a long time, but I'm here tonight because I want to keep it that way, and the only way I can keep it that way is by coming here and mixing with you guys who are feeding about recovering from this dirty, rotten, ugly disease, and as a consequence of doing some pretty damn simple things, which aren't always easy. They're simple, but aren't always easy. I've got a great life, and to the new chap, all the best in your recovery, and just give it the best shot, and don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle happens, because the miracle will happen. And take it easy. Be gentle on yourself, and I've got a good life today, and as the older blokes say, it just gets better. So I'll just keep coming back. So thanks a lot.